All right, guys. So I'm here with Nick Bono. I was always saying Bono, bro, like the
Because
fucking
everybody
singer.
said, all right.
So I'm here with Nick Bono, Jesus Christ. I'm here with Nick Bono. He is one of the premium coaches out of Jersey and South Jersey, actually. He has a huge amount of clients. He has high-end IFBB pro clients as well. He's an entrepreneur. He is a competitor himself on a national stage. And I wanted to bring him on here so you guys can get an idea of, just a perspective from coaches and how they approach things and stuff like that. And also just get like a quick background of how he got into coaching and what really just moved him into there. So go ahead, Nick.
So I started coaching when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And I started coaching before it was even a thing, before people even cared about bodybuilding, right? So I remember picking up the muscular development magazines, reading about everybody in the world. And then I was like, screw it, I'll do it myself. So I did my first show ever. And a lot of people don't know this, but I didn't know anything. So I did an OCB show, prepped myself for it, all 9 yards.
Oh, that's cool. You could prep like for 2 weeks for those shows and be fine.
Dude, and you know what the worst part is? To this date, that was the hardest prep of my life because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I just knew I had to get in shape, right?
Were you nervous about the 2 other people that were going to show up?
Believe it or not, you're going to cry when I say this. It was the most competitive show.
Really?
To the D, yes.
Wow.
So regional. So
okay.
People flocked out of nowhere to do those shows because you literally show up and you're a OCB pro.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. They just get pro cards out. Yeah, right away.
I didn't know this. I was just a normal guy showing up, trying to get involved in everything because a guy at my gym did it. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. So when I showed up, there was a ton of dudes. Ended up placing second, right? No big deal. But I wanted to do better because I started seeing what these guys looked like, the whole 9 yards. So ended up getting heavily involved in coaching, went on, did an NPC show. And when I did an NPC show, I ended up winning first in class. I won a novice overall, but I lost the open. So, it was a shot to the ego, but at the same time, let me mute this. There you go. It was a learning experience. And the reason it was a learning experience is because you realize early that you are not the top dog.
Right.
And that's something that I was all about. So after getting involved in the NPC, that's when I started to take on clients. And when I started taking on clients, I was charging $50 a month. $50 a month, right? And I believe one of those clients I did for free.
Okay.
So over time, I didn't even push for it. It was just something I was doing for fun. I wasn't really trying to monetize it. I was just looking to occupy some weekend time. So I'd pretty much take all the money that these guys paid me and I'd spend it on the coaching passes at their shows. So it's like, at the end of the day, you worked for free, but it was just about showing up and being places.
Yeah.
So I ended up showing up to a contest in South Jersey. And when I was there, I ran into a friend that I actually knew since I was maybe like 14 years old, Chris Lambert.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So when I was there, Chris and I were shooting shit, catching up. He was like, hey, man, it's good seeing you. And even if he didn't know you, and this is a God's honest truth about Chris, even if Chris does not know you, he acts like he remembers exactly who you are. And he sells it too. So it's a huge win. So sitting there talking to him, his wife goes on stage, does great, actually beats one of my clients. But, I ended up linking up with them and talking to them more often. He's like, you should start coming down to the gym more. So I started going to Wildwood a lot more often too.
Yeah.
And a couple years passed. My business is really not growing in terms of coaching. I'm trying to find where I belong in the world of, having an actual career. And I get a phone call. I got a phone call from Chris Lambert saying that he was opening up a gym in Attilas in Belmar. And he wanted me to open up a coaching business or a training business. And he wanted my business to be running in that facility because he knew I lived close.
Yeah.
I ended up taking it. I went there. Not a single person in the world wanted personal training. Not a single person. Everybody wanted to be coached. Everybody wanted a nutrition plan. Everybody wanted a training plan. So I ended up finding my groove there and ended up coaching full time. Then that's when it became obviously my bread and butter. Now, For those of you who know Attilas and have been to Attilas, it's usually a hardcore spot.
Correct.
You're going to find it's going to attract a lot of the local bodybuilders. It's going to attract a lot of the competitors and the high-end athletes. And because I started there, that's where I started to grow, in terms of athletes, client base, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, that's where I met Alex Toplin. Now, for those of you who don't know Alex Toplin is now going to make his Olympia debut this year. If you would have seen this kid, you wouldn't say, my man's going to the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
But his structure, shape, everything was there. Kid did his first show, won his first show, went to another show, won that. I mean, it took him until he was a pro to lose. But
oh, wow.
To make a long story short, when it comes down to getting involved in the coaching world, it is something I stumbled into. It's not something I really pushed for, but when the opportunity presented itself, I was able to follow through, right? And I never stopped doing it. So if people are looking to get heavily involved, the way to do it is just to care and keep doing it no matter what.
Yeah.
And breaking through that barrier is the hardest thing in the world. And I'm guilty of doing this, and I'll say this a lot. When there's a new coach or someone starts picking up clients and announces it, every single coach just starts shitting on them. You right? They're like, what experience do you have?
Yeah.
And we just start bashing this person. And we go in, when in reality, everybody has to start somewhere.
Correct.
And as long as you're able to be fair with what you're offering,
mm-hmm.
as long as you're not taking advantage of people, and as long as you're putting your clients first, you'll eventually break through that little barrier that has you in that awkward position of being accepted versus being rejected.
Yeah.
Right. And it's true. I mean, we see it all the time, Pat. Someone says now accepting clients, and then bam, we're roasting this person.
Yeah, well, I mean, 90% of them, they just did a show yesterday and became a coach the next day. So that's like the major thing now. You know what I'm saying? You're automatically certified to be a coach because you got coached by somebody else. So one diet, the one that worked on you. So you just take that diet and fucking put it on everybody and just hope for the best.
It's true. And then, the amount of times I've seen my diet plan returned to me by other people is like,
oh, well, yeah. Well, that's the nature of the fucking beast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what separates a real coach from the knockoffs is once you get past the first couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? When a client plateaus, when a client looks exactly the same, when a client comes back with an issue and you don't really have an idea what to do other than be like, maybe take some more drugs.
but true. If you don't know what to do, just throw drugs at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the biggest issue is that a lot of coaches don't know what these drugs do.
Correct.
I think that, for instance, we'll use T3. Okay, typical female bikini cycle. T3 Anavar Clen, right? I don't think people know why they use the T3. I don't think people understand why it's in there. They are just in a position where it's like, all right, this is going to help you lose weight. Well, if you actually have a female who's crushing it, actually lifting weights, and needs to preserve some level of muscle fullness, that's going to disappear. That fullness will disappear, especially if you're utilizing a healthy amount of T3.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is something that a lot of people don't know either. A lot of coaches put people on T3 and T4, right?
Wow. Yeah.
T4 converts into T3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, it blows my mind because, once again, I don't know what to do. Well, T4 looks a little off right now. Maybe we should just put some more in. No. T4 production is.
Let's just bump up the T3 and go extra clean.
Yeah.
But that, you know what? But everything you're saying is that's the same shit that happens in every industry. I mean, even on my end, right? I mean, fucking, there's a store that opens every other day. It's either I'm a bodybuilder, so I know what the fuck, I'm going to sell supplements, or I'm just a random dude and open a store and I'm going to sell supplements. But I bet you, and it's crazy because I've seen a lot of stores open, and I see a lot of stores that have been open, and it should just be relevant, right? Imagine if somebody's a coach but they don't have any before or after pictures of multiple fucking clients on their page, but they're telling you hire me. It's the same thing in my world. If you're a supplement store owner and what you're, let's say on Instagram, you're posting something about a product and it's a copy and fucking paste of the brand's post, right? Where you can't even mention what ingredients do what anything, and you're just basically like, just give me the money, let me just fucking rip you and call it a day.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm even going to go the extra distance here and tie coaching into your business. Right. I think what you're doing, and I think this is the highlight of probably what I'm going to discuss here, is having a sponsorship that allows you to utilize more than one brand.
Yes.
Okay. And you know, I spoke about this with a couple local guys, you know, my good friend Mark being one of them. If I open up a program that I receive from a coach, I shouldn't have a GDA listed with every single meal. Okay.
Correct.
I shouldn't have probiotics listed with 3 of those 4 meals. Now, don't get me wrong, these products work, but why is it that all of these products have the same brand? Why are they under the same brand? Now, me, for instance, and this is something, you know, I talk to you often about, I like to utilize a lot of health products. Now, for a long time, I was pushing Raw Revive. HD Supplements carries a pretty decent health line. But why would I have my clients spend $70 for a kidney product, $70 for a liver product, $70 for a prostate product? Then you got, what is it, K2 and D3. And then you start to dabble down the road of daily greens, the whole 9 yards. When I can just say, hey, look, Jeff Long, like Pro Supplements, Complete Health. Here you go. It's all in one. You know, if you're a guy who needs the prostate blend, boom, 2. So we automatically save you money. Why? Because you're in a position where you can reach. And I think a lot of these coaches are pushing product for more monetary gain as compared to placing themselves in a position where they can give people things they actually use, things they actually like. You know, if I send someone in the Aries, I say, yo, go into the store, pick up a pre-workout, an amino, I can give them a protein powder, an isolate, whatever it is. I know they're leaving with something good. That's one thing that's true. But I don't have to give them one brand.
Right.
You know, and when I'm online, and this is something that I stand by, I hated for a very long time feeling restricted to only being able to advertise this product line. Because shit, half the time I don't even like it. I'm looking at it and it's underdosed. I look at it and it may have great flavor, but what am I giving this person? Is this really going to help this person? Chances are it's not. So I don't like feeling restricted to what I can give someone that's going to benefit them long term. And that's where your business is thriving. You carry products that people use, you carry products that people actually like, and then you carry things that are trendy. So just so happens that the trendy things you carry work.
That's the biggest, most important part.
Right. And dude, I swear, I see it more often than not. You know, you're commission based, I get it, but you don't need to force GDAs down throats.
It sucks, man, because really, you know, think about it. Like, it took me a long time to learn a lot of this, right? And I'm sure it took you a while too. So unfortunately, there's millions who will end up getting, you know, bent over backwards and being taken advantage of to get to that point, man. And, you know, the fact that, you know, with me, you know, you already know I'm very picky. Anybody that really looks into Aries Nutrition, it's not that difficult to figure out, you know, what the brand stands for, what it's about, and what it does. And the other thing is, like, I'm very big on bringing quality and from all different categories. So it's not just supplements. The quality is from athletes. The quality is from coaches. The quality is from posing coaches, like all those angles, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, my ultimate goal is to unify, you know,
the bodybuilding community.
Yes, the bodybuilding community by having role models to influence in a positive way the guys that are, and not below, but the fact is they are below, they're building up, to influence them in a positive way, because there is no fucking positive influence. There's just, I'm better, or I'm fucking this, or I'm that. And that's not influential. And, I always talk about this is everybody's going to be the superhero to their circle, right?
Yep.
Everybody's going to be fucking Rocky Balboa in their circle, but we're not worried about our circle. Our circle's already there. They're going to back us no matter what. They are our circle. We're worried about everybody else on the outside. So you're going to catch, I use a lot of phrases. You're definitely going to catch a lot more bees with honey. A lot more. And listen, at the end of the day, man, look, we're now in a time frame where, let's look at the top level, athletes like pros and so forth, and whatever it is, even like the top level influencers, right, in fitness, right, they completely influence the industry. They're not negative. There's nothing coming like the good ones, and I'm talking about the good ones that are positive. They're not spitting out negativity.
The
You know
ones
what I'm
that are
saying?
right. Yeah.
Yes. And the ones that are spitting out positivity, in a way to try to encourage, yes, of course, you're going to get, they're showing themselves off at the same time, but they're not spitting out any ways to encourage people to be negative about others. You know what I mean? So to me, that's huge. Like me, myself, listen, man, I have fucking every day. I there's somebody new that doesn't like me. Well, I still like them.
Yeah. And that's the biggest mistake people make, right? And I've been saying this probably every day for the past few months. I'm tired of fighting with people. I am tired of getting involved in petty arguments. At the end of the day, if you don't like me and you look good, I'm still going to tell you look good.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you're building a successful business, I'm going to tell you congrats. If there's something I can do to help you that translates into helping my team, then so be it. But truth of the matter is that this is something that we only see at a local level, at a regional level, even a national level. When you talk about the pros, I was fortunate enough to be backstage at the New York Pro.
Mm-hmm.
Sadiq was shaking hands with every dude. Shaking hands with every dude, saying, "Hey, man, good to see you." These guys were supportive of one another, and they messed up the scoring. The judging panel messed up the scoring, and they put Alex below top 5.
Okay.
Athletes were the ones who told the expediter to go back and check the sheet.
Oh, wow.
Right? So at a national level, some dude would be waiting to slide right in and collect a second place pro card if it was a chance, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the 212, right? Or the 202 when it was the 202 showdown. You had Jose Raymond, Flex Lewis, Guy. You had these guys who hung out on the weekends. Flex Lewis put up videos of his bachelor party. They were all there. So why is it that these guys get along at the top level, but everybody at a national level and a regional level, they hate each other?
I you know what I think it is? It's and you're based on the same mindset, similar to me. I truly, and everybody's gonna be like, I was saying this because it's cliche. I truly don't have the time to think about other than 1 second if somebody tells me there's negativity coming my way. I literally don't have time. So I have time to look at anything that's influential that I can use in a way to, it's like kind of like you just bought a car and you're like, you know what, let me add some rims to it and make it my own. So there's ideas out there that I look for, but all those other things, it's unreal. The crazy thing is, like I give you a story. A lot of people don't like. There's a lot of stores that aren't fan of me because I create a lot of exclusivities with brands. Well, the reality situation is I'm not doing anything different that anybody else can't do, right? So maybe the reality is I'm noticing brands come up or changes in the market or in the industry or branding, right? Because I'm so busy looking at ways to improve myself and everything that has to do with the brand versus concentrating my energy on how I can fire back negativity back that might be coming my way.
Your grass is the greenest where you water it the most.
Yeah. And the reality situation is a lot of like people can self-destruct themselves just by worrying about other people.
It's true.
Or by being negative. You know what I'm saying? Because negativity will translate into everything else you do. And it just goes that way. I mean, customers, like I learned a lot of this stuff, man, is just the same shit I didn't want to deal with when I was a customer, man. I remember when I used to come into stores, I didn't want to be fucking hassled. I don't want to be like, oh, why don't you haven't been here in 3 months? Bitch, I don't know. I didn't feel like coming here. That's not your fucking business.
Yeah.
Like if I came in here, be happy I'm here and help me out, right? I didn't want to be told, oh, this is great. I wanted to be told, why is it fucking great? I'm new to this. Like, you're just supposed to be the supplement expert. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, or I didn't want to hear you fucking tell me that whoever is fucking down the street you hate because of X, Y, and Z. Like, I don't, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, but the crazy part is that I've actually been fortunate enough to see the other side of business for you, right? So a lot of people look at this and they hear you talk and they're like, yeah, he's just trying to present himself to be, this ideal business owner, right? I used to own a Tillis gym.
Mm-hmm.
And people forget that we had rock bottom right in the Tillis gym.
Yeah.
And you stopped by and you talked to Frank, who owned it, and you and him spit ideas off one another.
Mm-hmm.
And when we had a grand opening, you showed up.
Mm-hmm.
You were more than supportive of another business. Mm-hmm. And then in return, other businesses should be more supportive of you. Now, are they? No. I mean, there's going to be competition, but still, I think people forget that, let's say for conversation's sake, if Frank has a dope product on the shelf and someone loves it, but they're up in Hamilton, they're going to pick something up from you.
Yeah.
And if you have something and vice versa, they're going to pick something up from him. So even if it's not consistent, you're going to get something.
Yeah.
And, so many people thrive on the idea of that exclusive shopping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. We come for the experience. Like, how many times can you go into a store? Like, for instance, I remember walking into Hamilton. You got a fucking bar set up. The homies are chilling there. I mean, I walk in, Gio's just hanging out, right?
It's like club music playing, and you're like, what the fuck?
And the point is like, shit, that you want to be there, right? And the thing is, you're never just in there for 5 minutes. You don't just, stop in and pop out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever you go into an Aries, you stop, you chill, you hang out, you shoot shit with the homies, and then chances are someone in there is going to suggest a product. You don't even have to. Mm-hmm. And people leave happy. And then they come back. And guess what? They're the ones that are sitting in there shooting shit, hanging out because they want to be.
Yeah.
It's more than just supplements.
Yeah. And it's a good point, man. Like, yeah, like I said, I support, like, I'm very simple, man. I support other people. There's a couple stores, for example, in Jersey where I'm very cool with the owners. Like, there's one place super up north where one of the owners comes down to my events.
Yeah.
And we bullshit. He fucking hangs out with the pros, everything like that. There's another guy, he has another store he just opened up not too long ago. And I seen him not too long. And he came up to me and just started asking me different advice. And I gave it to him. I gave him as much info as I possibly could. You know what I mean? Then there's Then there's another guy who has several stores in New Jersey. Like, how me and him will call each other on the phone and would just laugh at fucking the nonsense that goes behind the scenes. And then we'll spit ideas of, what's working in you and what's working with me. And it's crazy because, like, whenever, like, him, for example, when we have a conversation, he's like, bro, you have your own identity. I have my own.
Yeah.
Like, dude, one of my fucking athletes is sponsored by one of the fucking brands he owns himself. Yeah. Like, and he's on my team. So, like, listen, everybody can eat, but at the end of the day, I think people forget we're here for the fucking consumers. The consumers aren't here for us. You know what I'm saying? They can go to online anywhere, any day. They are coming to us for knowledge, positivity, motivation, things they can't get from the general world, man. So
it's the experience.
Yeah. So we should, so ideally that's what we should be doing. You know what I'm saying? And listen, nobody has to fucking hug and high five and have fucking parties together. But at the end of the day, it's just like we're actually here for you. Like we are here for you.
But you know what? This is something that falls short in the supplement industry. This is something that falls short in the coaching industry. What people fail to realize is that your goal when you pick a client up obviously should be to retain the client. And this is in both supplements and coaching. But if that client leaves, they still need to stay within the industry. You want to stay in the industry. So when I lose someone, or if I lose someone and they go to another coach, at least I know for a fact that I had a positive experience on them to the point where they are staying in this.
Yes.
So when someone comes into a supplement store, if you give them something good and they like it, they're going to stay in the supplement game. They may not always shop at your store, but they're still spreading the money. They're still keeping everything that we do alive.
Yeah.
And dude, we're so, and I think it's like a young man mentality, to be honest. I was there. I felt like I was fighting people for clients because the area itself is so condensed, it's populated. But you're in a position where you're like, damn, dude, like everybody's going somewhere else. What am I going to do? And then you literally learn what you do yourself is going to have no impact on what someone else is doing.
Yeah.
Right. So just focus on what's going on, work your hardest, give a positive experience, make sure that this person's taken care of. And if they stay, they stay. If they go, they go. It's out of your control.
Listen, the average human being, just about every human being is always interested in something, right?
Yeah.
Listen, somebody could be handed gold every single day, but if they hear that somebody's giving out silver around the corner, even though they don't know that, even though they may know it's not good, or they're like, I love this gold here, but they're giving out silver, they'll go and check it out. But guess what? They find out it's silver and they'll come back as long as you're giving them real gold. So in other words, as long as you provide them the service, information, whatever it is that's pure and it's real, you have to be willing to accept that people will go and try something else.
Yes.
You provide them over the top because you want to help them, but at the same time, you provide them the best experience ever because you know they're going to go somewhere else.
Yes.
So that way, because once they do and they notice that it wasn't on the same level, that it was hollow, it wasn't just good enough, they're like, let me go back. And when the individual comes back, they're more, it's kind of like if you broke up with your girlfriend breaks up with you because she thinks something's better on the other side, goes with another guy, the guy fucking beats her up, and she comes back.
Yeah, next thing you know, you look like gold.
Yeah, and you're even more brighter than you ever were before because you did the right thing the whole entire time.
But you know what? I say that the lost mindset anymore, and this ties into what you said earlier. When the fuck have you ever done something and said, yeah, you know what, I want to be second best?
True.
When have you ever done that? When I'm taking a client on and I look at their shit, I'm like, all right, I need to get this from point A to point Z, and I need to do it the best way possible, the fastest way possible, the most efficient way possible, without killing this person, without absolutely running them into the ground, because you have to make it realistic. You have to make it sustainable. I didn't start coaching to be all right. I don't do this to be all right. I want to coach the best athletes in the world. Now, there's a chance I may not be the best men's bodybuilding coach. There's a chance I may not be the best men's bikini coach. See what I did there?
I saw that, the men's bikini. I saw that.
But the point I'm making is, for those who come to me, I'm going to make sure that I do my best so that they are at their best, right? Too many people would rather give half-ass effort and then make excuses as to why you're cheating the system.
Correct.
Right. And I think part of the problem is that the people who are getting involved, they do a good job. They put their best foot forward, but they're not giving their everything into it. And if everybody gave everything, I doubt we would start to see, people coach hop in. We wouldn't see things like that.
Yeah.
Right. So the supplement game, if someone walks into your store, dude, you're going to give them a good experience. You're going to show them, hey man, look, my guys hang out here. I mean, I go on Instagram and Danny's in your store every other day. You know what I mean? He's in one store at least every other day. And then, and the funny thing about that is one day he's in like San Diego, the next day he's in your store, the next day he's in like Florida. And it's like, what the hell's this guy up to, right? But the point is, there's always somebody in your store that's creating a good environment for this person. Yeah. So, I can't say that it's ever your fault why there's hate. You know what I mean? You're going to always have a hater.
No, I actually, I'm a fan of that because listen, I thrive.
It lets you know you're doing your job.
Yeah. I could say it like that way, but at the same time, it's not like I feel disappointed at those individuals. Because at the end of the day, like what I do is really irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I do something, there's always like, if I had somebody that was doing something like I'm doing, I would have to find ways around it. Right. Yeah. And to just improve, create my own identity. I think a lot of people forget the basics, man, to create an identity, to create an actual brand and what their purpose is. You know what I'm saying? And that's with everything, there's 100 different coaches. Okay. What's your identity? What's so unique about you? What you present, what you put up, how the information you give, all those things should basically explain what kind of brand you are. You know what I'm saying? So
and
to me,
what? Here's something you'll like too. I've never done a single lick of advertising.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never, not in my life, ever put up, and I'm not taking shots at no one because I know people will hear this and they'll be like, oh yeah, free smoke and shit. But the point I'm making is I never put up, for coaching inquiries, feel free to hit me here under every single post, right?
Yeah, there's different, I would say there's different approaches, right?
Yeah.
There's your sponsored ads, there's flyers, whatever it is, right? There's
looking for 5 motivated individuals to sign up with me.
Yeah, right? I see that stuff a lot too. And like, I know that game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really have room for 5 people. That's it. Yeah. Just 5.
And here's the thing. My business wasn't founded on that. My business was founded on producing a result, getting a referral. So when you talk about building a successful business, the primary or the bulk of your client base should stem from your results, correct, not from what you're presenting. And that's something that's going to hold true for every business, right? So if you're a supplement store that has the most badass Instagram ever, you're releasing the coolest content. I mean, who the hell doesn't want to see Gio deadlifting 800 pounds? Who doesn't, your girl alone's doing like 12 plates on a friggin' hack squat. So like, who's not going to want to stop in and see the store? Now, just imagine if, you see these badass videos and you walk into the store and it's just like 3 fucking shelves with
a thriftway bodega in a fucking corner.
Yeah, there's like holes in the wall and shit. No one's going to be like, yeah, man, I want to shop here. Right. And I think people forget that you need to have that content before you gain that following. Yeah. You were someone who started solo. And like I said, where your store started, what went into it, what's required of it. So now that you have, 5 locations?
It's 4.
Probably going to be 5 soon. But the point I'm making is,
I hope not. I hope not.
When you have that,
because I'm about to have a meeting next weekend, and I hope it doesn't go. I hope it doesn't go well. I hope it doesn't go well.
You know what? You're that type of guy that's like, I hope it doesn't, but I hope it does.
No, dude, I actually don't want it to go well. I hate. I'm so impulsive. I'm fucking so impulsive. But go ahead.
The point is, like, dude, you wouldn't bite off more than you can chew. You wouldn't. Like, even if you got the greatest deal in the world, if you sat down and said, there's no way in hell I'm juggling this, you wouldn't take it.
You know what's sad? I would say my flaw is I'd be like, I could probably juggle 2 more balls right now.
I'm the same place. I'm like, maybe 10 more clients and I'm good to go. And then I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, damn, I sat down at 7 and it's 8:00 at night.
Well, I'll give you an example. So this podcast, we're doing it at it's 10 o'clock right now, right? So I already had my 12-hour day in the store. I already had my training in the morning, everything else.
Yeah.
And I decided to add fucking podcasts multiple times a week on top. So I think see, for me, man, it's different. Like for me, work, like I create work for myself.
Yeah.
But I'm always thinking of ideas and ways, and it's work to basically build things up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do it because maybe I have ADD. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can't stand still. Maybe it's because, when I'm if I have free time, I think about shit I don't want to think about.
Or
Well,
you want to be best.
yeah. And it's just, for me, it's just, I've always been told that I can't do shit, right?
Yeah.
I've always been told that fucking I suck. Even when I was fucking, working for the corporate world, it was like, well, you're not good enough. What the fuck do you mean? Why? Because I don't fit your criteria. So
Yeah.
I learned for me, my best fuel is when I'm overloaded with work, or when I'm being told I'm not good enough or I can't get something done. That's literally my driving force. Like, I don't like compliments. I don't like, if somebody gives me a compliment, I'm like, oh, okay. Pat, you're successful. Nah, I'm okay. Pat, you're doing great. Nah, I'm all right. Pat, you should do something better. You know what? You think you're right. Maybe I should do this, and this. So that's just me. Like, to me, everything that people see from the outside, like, I don't see it that way, because I feel like that seeing it that way is going to slow me down. And I don't want to
There's
say
two
that.
different type of businessmen, right? There's the guy that's looking at his clock. You see that there's 25 minutes of spare time. And he says, let me pull up some documents. Let me pull up some ideas. Let me see what I can do to make this better, right? And then there's that guy who sees he's got 25 minutes on the clock and says, I bet I could get a nap in, right? The guy that's taking that nap isn't the guy that's on to bigger and better things. If you're not sitting down and saying, what can I do to make this that much better, you're giving up already.
Yeah.
I've, as a coach, I track monthly income. I don't track, weekly. I don't track year. I mean, obviously we track yearly, but we track monthly and quarterly, right? If I start off the month fresh, and this is something I learned early, if I start off fresh and I get hit with payments out the gate, I'm not on the gas as the end of the month comes up, right? I'm not on the gas. I'm laying off the gas a little bit. But if I start slow and I look at it and I'm like, man, I'm not making any money this month, I have to look for ways to generate more income. And what people forget is that, for me, generating income is either A, bringing on new clients, or B, retaining my clients.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I want to bring on new clients, that's not my focus. My focus is retention. So if I'm sitting here and saying, well, look, I got 25 guys up for expiration this month, my thing is keep them. Find a way to keep them. Find something to do in this that's going to make you that much more desirable. And that is what makes you stand out, right?
Yeah.
It's when you're that guy that looks and says, well, I got some free time today. I think I'm going to, take a nap, or I'm going to clean a little bit of this and a little bit of that. No, man, put the fucking gas down, turn things up a notch. And that's where it all starts to come. And the reason why you want more, man, is because you're that first type who wants to push. You want to grind things out. You want more for Aries. And dude, it shows. I'm in the chat. You're heavily interactive with everyone. It's not like you're just, sending one message out every month saying, hey guys, these are your responsibilities. No, you're running 4 locations, and half the time you're setting up tables at gyms, you're doing promos, you're getting these people together, sending them to these areas for these promos, you're setting up team lifts. Dude, where's your free time? Right? Yeah. This is your free time. This podcast is your way to just decompress, chill, and relax. And to be honest, man, for me, that's exactly what I like right now, because usually I'm at the gym, I'm stressed the hell out, I'm looking at the clock. For me, this is like the first night where, one, I feel like I'm doing something for my coaching, because I don't post on Instagram to save my life. I'm the worst. Like, when it comes down to Instagram, I'm typically just reposting people's stuff, right?
Yeah.
But 2, this is a way that I can advertise my services, catch up with a friend, and more importantly, talk about things in the industry that are good, bad, and ugly. Yeah. So It's dope for me. You know, usually if I sit down on the couch at night, I can probably get a solid 3 minutes with a remote in my hand before I pass out.
Yeah. Because if the phone, especially if the phone's on silent, because if not, you're pretty much screwed.
Dude, I mean, for fuck's sake, there was one night I think I messaged you at like 3:00, and then you were waking up 2 hours later and messaging me at 5.
I did.
You know, and I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have texted him. It was late as shit.
No, I learned to keep my shit on quiet. Yeah. And like, and then just respond to everything when I first wake up. Even when I get home, man, like, you know, I'll get home. I usually have like an hour after I make my food and stuff for the next day. I might have a half an hour to an hour. I'll put on something on fucking Netflix and then just go to sleep and wake up in the morning and just keep rolling, man. The only peaceful time I have to myself is at 5:30 in the morning when everybody's still dead asleep and the dog's running around trying to lick me, lick my damn foot. And then, you know, that when we're in the gym and we escape reality. So, I mean, but I really don't care, man. That's just the way I work, just the way I go.
But that's what it's for. You know, it's not all business. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you do it because it's fun.
It really is, dude. Like, everybody fucking said, like, everything sounds so cliche because, like, to me, when I hear this shit from other people, it's like, dude, you're so full of shit. But like, you see it because when you're a coach, dude, like, you see the expressions of happiness after a show. You see the expressions of incredible joy when the results are coming in or when they win something. Like, that's like a father, daughter, son type of feeling. Like, these people have trusted you and you delivered, right? You delivered, you were by their side and so forth. For me, you know, when I get messages, when I get people who literally thank me for just doing the shit I normally do, like if it's just giving information or helping them. When I have people come in, it's like, dude, I've been watching your stuff forever. I really wanted to meet you, da da da. It's like, it's crazy because, like, to me, I'm just like, all right. I mean, I'm just fucking Pat, but all right. But to know that I've been able to help them makes a whole difference, man. So basically what I was getting at before we all got screwed up, which I'll make sure I edit that whole part.
If you hire a guy, dude, he'll nickel and dime you for that shit.
Oh my God. We can get into all this. We can get this all night. Actually, for those who are looking for a video guy, this guy named Jose, I always have him tagged in all my videos. He's done all my video work and he's a really good dude. So he really helps me a lot. For anybody like looking for like business promotion aspects and stuff like that. But like I was saying, man, a lot of it, you know, the stuff I see is cheesy, but like your experience, the true wealth from what you do, the same way I'm sure I do, where it's not from fucking dollar symbols and all that. It's, you know, when you finish a show and a client wins and hugs you or cries or is like, they can't believe it, or, you know, when they message you that you helped them through something or got them through a difficult time. So, you know, because you have a connection with them on a consistent basis. For me, you know, it's, you know, I get not just from individuals who I might have gave advice to or helped them in the stores. I get advice, like I get a lot now from them just watching the content that I put up, you know, where they see and feel that I'm not full of shit. I'm not trying to lie to them or anything like that. And they feel like I'm actually helping them and I gave them advice. You know, besides the guys who fucking use products and come in and it's like, dude, things happen. So, you know, or even like, look, I watch the whole team, you know, you guys motivate me to be better and this and that. Like, those things are like insane. Like, I had a message just literally yesterday. A guy messaged me. He's like, I wish I would have closer. I watch all your stuff all the time. You know, I started watching your podcast now. What you do is just unreal. It's unreal and it's extremely, extremely genuine and positive. So those things, they give a lot more worth to us person's existence, like, you know what I'm saying? Because we're all looking for worth, right? We're like, what are we worth? Yeah, the validation that we're doing something that we're relevant in some way. You know what I'm saying?
And it's something that you're proud of, right?
Yes, because outside of that, all other all the validation is fake, man. Like if it was just money, then the person would show that money, and the people surrounding them would be fake. So if that disappears, they disappear too. You know what I'm saying? And then all they had was just fake material things that made them who they are. So, I would say that's the very similar thing. And, for anybody listening in, man, if you're a coach, if you're inspiring for anything business, dude, you got to do it because you fucking love it, man. Like that's the bottom line. You have to do it because you love it. Because if you don't fucking love it after a year or two, you're not gonna want to do it, man. You're gonna get fucking burnt or you're gonna get tired of it.
And you'll hate your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the truth. Growing up, everybody tells you shit they want you to be. Be a doctor, be a lawyer, go to med school, whatever. But yet what they don't realize is that going through all of that is going to be the most stressful, irritating time of your life. Yeah. And at the time frame that you have to decide to become that person, you may not even want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Flash back, 15 years ago, have someone tell you you're going to open up the most badass supplement store in the world. And who would ever say, do what you want to do, open up a supplement store? You know what I mean? Like people would think you're stupid for it, but yet look at the brand you built. Look at the following. Fuck the brand. Look at the following. That's what I mean. And it's not just total followers. Look at the loyalty of the following. That's the point, right? So it's one thing if you have a lot of followers. It's another thing when you have people who are willing to drive long distances, show up and support something that you've made. Yeah. And I'm not even talking about, for me, my clients will show up for a workout. They'll do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You have guys who are traveling, 2 hours because you have an event that's hosting some of the biggest, baddest dudes in the area.
Yeah.
And dude, who the fuck drives 2 hours for something they don't care about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have a good team, you've built good relationships with people. And if that's not validation, I don't know what is. You know what I mean? Like I've read some of the messages in the chat. Now I'm new to Aries to some extent, right? Obviously I've always done some things with you, but when it comes down to really getting integrated within the brand, dude, some of those messages, I've read one that literally started off, if it weren't for Pat, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you're not just doing stuff for the community. You're doing stuff for the people who are involved with your team and they see it and they're appreciative of it. You know what I mean? That goes a long way.
Everybody wants to be a part of something that has value, right? Internal value. And everybody wants to support somebody that supports them back, right? Yeah. So, I invest in everybody and I give them the opportunity, anybody, right? I give all of them, because I have trust. If I'm investing in somebody, I give them the opportunity to invest back, right? And, just like we had a conversation offline about an individual who stopped by, and, I was explaining everything where things have to be organic, like, because individual asked me, like, what do you look for an athlete? I'm like, well, step number one, you already have to be supporting the brand. Like, that's it. That's step number one. Like you already either through social media, you've been supporting it. You somehow went out of your way to meet some of the team or stop by the stores or whatever. The brand, you love what it represents, right? Then number two, it's either, you compete, or you have social media, big presence, so forth. One or the other, because one can outweigh the other, or you can have both. But the base is the organic. And that individual was like, yeah, but what about like people out of state and they have like 100,000 followers and so forth? I'm like, okay, yeah, but I'm not hiring athletes. I'm not hiring them so they could give me a post. How the fuck do I know they're going to be in their community proud and telling other people? Because a post is just a post. Like if it's organic, you're posting in your real life everything you do about the brand. In other words, like I'm saying it correctly. You know what I'm saying? So, and the only way that can be built is if I do my part and create something cool, create something that has value, and have them be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like the stupid shit where I sponsored the NPC show.
Yeah.
Like you think it's fun to give out fucking 6 to 7 grand.
Yeah, but you know what? That's another thing that people don't really know about, right? Which is becoming intertwined in the industry. And dude, what you did for that show, if you really sit back and look around, you will never find a local level show or a national level show. Shit, maybe even some pro shows who give out that much support, right? Yeah. And dude, it's unheard of. It actually is unheard of, you know. And not only that, man, but you had some badass checks drawn up. Just throwing that out there. That's some badass checks drawn up. They were pretty dope.
I wish, and you know, NPC has a rule, so you know, there's certain things that can't be shown and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I mean, it's, you know, it's all about that unique thing. Because listen, man, even like Fuad always says this too, man. Because I talk to him often, and he even said that before on his podcast, man. It's, you know, don't keep fucking taking from the sport. The sport gives. You have to give something back, because if you don't, the sport's going to disappear and dwindle away. And what the fuck do you have left? You know what I'm saying? Because social media can easily dwindle the whole actual sport of bodybuilding. Yeah. So you have to kind of give back, man. So now it was cool, man. Like I really enjoyed supporting the show, man. I think what really got me is when Gary, the head promoter, came up to me and we talked face to face. And he's like, yeah, man, once I announced that it was Eric's nutrition show, you have no idea how much shit came my way, and like in a positive way, and how much noise it made. And I'm like, why? He's like, I don't think you realize how much pull your brand has. I'm like, I don't. I really don't.
Dude, not only that, but when people show up to become an Aries athlete or apply to become an Aries athlete, they don't understand that you actually single-handedly give them the tools to get it done. Right. I just talked about this the other day. I was supposed to stop by today, but the reason I didn't is because I had this podcast that I had to hop on.
So, yeah, it's okay. Fuck that. But
podcast. To make a long story short, I wanted to stop by, figure out what you had on your shelves, figure out what was here local, figure out what you like, you personally, what you like to move, and then what I like to move. And then obviously I still want to create cool bundles, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like put together like, you know, all these bundles. But long story short, you're giving people tools, right? And you're allowing them to succeed, not the customer, the athlete. So even if an athlete, you know, is interested but doesn't understand supplements, you take the time to sit down, tell them this is what happens, this is what you use, these products are for X, Y, and Z. We like this product because it's loaded. You know, I had another guy come to me and start talking about the Apollon intra workout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, he was like, I saw it on the shelves at Aries, and you sent it to me, what, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was very easy. Yeah, man, go for it. You know, it's very easy to do that because you're in communication with people. You're letting people know, hey, man, this product just hit the shelf. I don't know if you could use it, if you can incorporate it into what you're doing. Let me tell you, people don't understand that. When you work for some of these big brands, dude, you're just another number with a discount code that's pushing stuff out, but yet you have certain requirements that you have to meet, you know, 10 posts a week, and, you know, you have to post X, Y, and Z. And, you know, and Fuad, dude, he also said that people don't fall in love with someone's physique. They fall in love with their personality. They like their personality, right? So you can't just be a guy on Instagram who's sitting out here flexing, trying to say buy shit at Aries, right?
Yeah.
You know, look at Danny. Danny will stop his workout literally mid-set and talk to someone.
Yes.
He will, and you know what? He'll do it with a smile on his face.
Yeah.
Gio's the same way. I mean, Gio gets a little crazy when the weight gets a little heavy, but, you know, same way.
Yeah.
Point I'm making is like, dude,
but that's huge, man. That's fucking huge. If you are some way of a leader in industry, you know, that's how it should be represented, man. I remember fucking bodybuilders, you know, fucking when I was younger, man, in the gym, they weren't like this. They were the fucking meatheads running around fucking with an angry face, and everybody was scared of. And the sad part is there's still some of those random guys still out there, and they're fucking doing this, and they shit on like the younger generation who's getting popular
Yeah.
of accomplishing nothing. And I keep like, and like, I just want to tell them, like, listen, it's because your personality sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gives a fuck what your numbers are, what placing you have anymore. There's a huge platform where everybody has a stage. It's not just a muscle development magazine. Your worth isn't by a magazine cover anymore. Like, there's a platform, and unfortunately, everybody's doing the same thing. So the only way to stand out is to have some kind of personality. Like,
you can't be dry and mean. You can't.
yeah.
And a lot of the community is still like that. A lot of our bodybuilding population is still like that.
Yeah. And listen, it's always going to be like that. It's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of how things can shift. Look, man, I can honestly say I've helped change some mindsets, right? Where people can, you know, they look at different ways of presenting themselves, right? As a person to be followed, you know, but there's people just out there who are going to be angry and negative and so forth. But it's okay. You know what? But you know why we need them? Because they make us look better.
I'll even say something a little touchy. And this is a little touchy. Fair warning. Right? This one's a little touchy because it's about Aries, but still it represents what you do. Okay. Aries Nutrition started what we would consider down here in North Jersey. Okay. So anything, anything above like Hamilton is North Jersey to us, right? So Aries started in North Jersey. Now, there's a lot of conflicting populations. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of coaches who butt heads.
Yeah.
But when Aries started stepping up and delivering another location, these individuals who disliked each other to some extent are now on the same team. And let me tell you, the bullshit has stopped. You know, there's still a little bit here and there. We still hear about it. But when you talk about the ability to bring two meatheads, and I'm going to use the term meatheads, right? Two highly, and I don't, two for the reference, like I'm not talking about two people here. Obviously, I'm just
using a number,
theoretically. But when you have the capacity to pull together two meatheads who are cocky, ignorant, and self-centered at times together without a single argument, that shows what you're doing for the community, right? And that's shows
what I want. And that's what I
want.
It shows
that there's no room for that shit. There's no need for that shit. You know, and I'll attest to it firsthand. You know, in the past, I've heard things, I've seen things, but that has diminished substantially. And not only that, but some of these people are friends now. You know, I'll be the first to say, and you know, anybody could quote me on this shit. Anthony, right? I've seen Anthony maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 times before, you know, becoming more affiliated with the brand. I see that kid now, I'm getting a big ass hug. You know what I mean? And for those who know Anthony, like Anthony's that guy in the gym lifting just as much as Gio, screaming at the top of his lungs. But the point I'm making is, as cocky as a bodybuilder can be, not just him, me, you know, any guy, it really, becoming part of something more really gave you the capacity to put the bullshit aside. And now these people are friends. You know, I never had a problem with Anthony, but I never really talked to him. But now that I talk to him, dude, we're both bodybuilders. We both lift heavy, train hard. We're both in a position where we support certain products, certain people, certain individuals. And to be honest, when that kid went to nationals last year, dude, he asked me how he did on stage. I talked to him. He nearly fucking cried over my shoulder because he was so stoked about how he did. And for some reason, I'm trying to figure out why he was thanking me. He was like, dude, thank you so much. And I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, bro, what? Like, I didn't coach you. You just probably went pro. And, you know, what are you thanking me for? Dude, go relax, put your feet up, you know, get stoked because you got to go back on stage, brother. Like, you know, so I'll say this much, bro. You've done a lot for the community, a lot for the direct community. And not only that, but it's now starting to transpire into more, right? You're seeing a lot more familiar faces, people working out together online. You know, a lot of the guys that you are affiliated with are doing posing seminars, coaching seminars. You know, it's huge. And it's all stemming from connecting. You know, the state of New Jersey is high as Edison all the way down to Sewell.
And listen, I've even said this, you know, before you were in the chat. I even said this in, you know, in the whole group chat before. I told, you know, and I always say this, right? No matter if it becomes 100 people, 150. I don't need you to love somebody or automatically be their best friend, right? I just need you to understand that they're doing the same thing you're doing. It might be different, right? But they're doing what you're doing. They love bodybuilding. They love to train. They want to be popular. They want to be famous. They want to get a pro card, whatever it is. They're all on the same route that you're doing. And you guys, you know, whoever you are, you're on a higher platform than everybody else looking up. So if you want to keep transcending, be a role model and just be respectful, right? Because we're all us together. If the more we come together, the more the whole fucking brand goes up. Like everything just keeps going up.
And that's what I was about to say. Everybody's doing better. Everybody's doing better now. So it's not just like these people are getting along and they're happy. No, dude, people are happy. People aren't starting shit. And now everybody's thriving. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, J-Bads is running a seminar either this weekend or next weekend. Right. And I've known Justin since the Attilas days. Honestly, I think everybody who's been on Aries and is on Aries has been through Attilas when I owned it. These are people that I've talked to. So I've been fortunate enough to have some type of standing relationship with most of them. So when it comes down to bad blood, I don't have any. You know, as far as interacting with these people, it's been very easy, effortless. To be honest, Pat, I think you were the last one that I met, you know, in person. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to it, I couldn't agree more. You know, you set a good foundation. And now these people are running with it. And now the team as a whole is starting to thrive. So, dude, that's huge.
Yeah, it's good, man. I love seeing. Listen, man, I'm trying to create like a Fast and Furious thing, but with bodybuilding, right? Where everybody just fucking gets together. But all right, brother. So we're gonna knock this out because fucking everybody's probably whoever's watching this is like, oh my god, it's been over an hour. So we'll definitely have to do this again. We'll probably do is next time. We'll probably get together, guys. Whoever tunes in next time, we'll probably get more specific into different things that have to do with coaching. Maybe get some questions that I'm going to answer specifically, stuff like that.
And I'm an open book. Let me put it this: when it comes down to food, gear, training, the whole 9 yards. If I can't handle it by now, I have no business doing the coaching shit.
Right. Exactly. So Nick, thank you, brother.
My man, thank you for having me.
You got it, my friend. And everybody tuning in, thank you so much.
Later, bro.